Greetings, class. My name is Kelly Kermer, and I wanted to welcome you to Business Law 2 Summer's 2025 6-week class. My name is Kelly Kermer, and I will be your professor for this term. I'm excited to embark on the term with you and wanted to show you around the class so that you can understand how the course is set up and what will be expected for you to be able to earn a good grade in this class. Right now, we're on the home page, which illustrates the syllabus and the course schedule for the entire term. This will be an important page for you to get acquainted with because the content of this class is not really all that hard to understand, but the pace, being a 6-week class, will be pretty fast. And the most important thing will be making sure that you are familiar with the due dates and budget your time accordingly so that you can submit all of the graded assessments on time. So let's take a look first at your syllabus, and you can get to that by clicking on the link here. It says Course Syllabus. A lot of this content you'll be able to review in your own time, but there are a few things that I want to highlight for you. First of all, the best way to reach me is online in Canvas email. Generally speaking, I do my best to get back to you within 48 hours, and I will oftentimes try to do it even quicker than that. But email me in Canvas if you need to talk about any topics. We can set up a time to have a Teams call and be able to, meet online, virtually, or have a phone call or anything to help you understand how to either navigate the class or course content. Don't ever say in your email, Professor, I'm sorry to bother you. I teach because I really enjoy it, and the best part of teaching is working with you all, the students. So again, it's not a bother. Any questions that you have, please make sure that you just email me and we can either resolve it via email or set up a time to talk. One of the policies that I want to bring to your attention as you read through all of these is the late policy for graded assignments. Essentially, I will not accept any assignment that's simply submitted late. If you need an extension, you need to request permission for that extension before the deadline passes, and you also have to show some type of extraordinary circumstance along with proof of that circumstance. So if you're not feeling well, that's not going to be enough without having a doctor's note to indicate that you're not able to participate in class and submit your assignments on time. Same way if you have a sick kid or otherwise. Everybody in this class is going to be under a time crunch. They're going to be perhaps balancing family, work, and maybe even hopefully some vacations in between. But again, do not just submit something late. It will not be accepted and you will receive a grade of 0. Communicate with me in advance and make sure that you have a good reason for requesting your extension. Now let's move on to what we're going to cover in this course and how you're going to be graded. I'm going to come back to the grading in a second, but let's cover the topics that we're going to review in this class. So it's broken down into 6 modules, and you complete 1 module a week over the 6-week term. At the beginning, we're going to jump into Article 2 of the Uniform Commercial Code, often referred to as the UCC, and we'll cover sales contracts. And there will be multiple chapters that we will cover in each module. Then we'll move on to negotiable instruments and banking, which is Article 3 of the UCC. We'll jump into Article 9 of the UCC with debtor-creditor relationships and then move into some bankruptcy. We'll discuss business organizations like Subchapter S corporations and LLCs. Then we'll move on to our 5th module, which is a lot of different topics. So there's going to be 1 chapter on each topic, ranging from regulations to consumer protections and securities and environmental law. And then we wrap up the course with 3 other topics, which include employment law, property ownership, estates, and trusts. So let's scroll back up here to what you're going to be earning your grade based upon. And there really are different categories of work that you're going to be doing for each module. So every module is going to have a smart book reading. You have an online textbook, and you will be able to access that textbook and read the content via any link to a smart book reading that you find in the class. So there is no hard copy textbook, and the way you access it is simply through a link in the class. That is an inclusive access, so you don't need to download anything separately. Once you sign up for the course, built into your course fees is the fee to get into the online textbook. So you have a smart book reading assignment, and these are active reading assignments for each chapter. As you go along, you'll be asked questions, and it'll help to assess whether you are understanding the information that you're consuming. And so it's pretty easy to do well on the smart book readings, but you're just going to have to budget time to complete those. The first modules, smart book readings, are worth 500 points because you're going to be covering 5 chapters worth of content. And that will be a lot of time that it'll take to do that, but the questions that you're asked are not hard. There'll be also an application based activity for each module worth 100 points. And the application based activities are given you as a scenario or more kind of gamified questions related to the content that you've consumed as a part of your smart book reading. You'll also have discussions, and you'll have a discussion in which you will be required to post an initial post, and then a few days later, a reply to your classmates. Oftentimes, you'll be asked to take positions on arguments, and your first post, you'll take the position representing client A, and then in the reply, you'll take the opposite position and argue against the initial argument that a classmate provided. There'll also be a quiz for each chapter or each module. It'll cover all the chapters in your smart book reading, and the quizzes amount of points will be based upon the number of questions that you'll consume in each of those quizzes. You'll have 2 projects in the class, and I'll cover those in a few minutes. Ultimately, your grade is going to be based upon an aggregate number of points. So you can earn up to 4,700 points in the entire class. Well, how do you get an A? Well, you have to score between 4,230 points and 4,700 points to earn an A. And you can see those grade ranges and the number of points you need to earn to get the letter grade. When you see Canvas, you'll often see it based as a percentage grade. That percentage grade does not accurately reflect what your final grade in the course will be. So I would encourage you to continue to refer back to the syllabus to see how you're progressing in the class and how many points you need to earn to be able to score that A that you're hopefully going to get. So I'm going to jump back into Canvas and show you a little bit more how we navigate through here. As you can see, all the due dates for the entire term are set up here. Your class starts on a Monday, and every module is going to start on a Monday. And then on Thursday, you're going to have your discussion post due. On Saturday, even though it doesn't show up on the calendar, your reply will be due. So be sure to now mark your calendars so that every Saturday you know you have a reply due to the discussion post for that module's content. So manually go in, mark your calendars, make sure that you post those replies. On Sundays, you'll have your ABA, your quiz, and your smart book assignments due. I would encourage you, even though the smart book assignment is not due until Sunday, be sure to read the content of all your chapters before you post your discussion on Thursday. So you can go into your smart book, and once you get into the assignment, you'll see a menu that allow you to navigate to any of the chapters. You can read the chapters without doing the smart book assignment, so you can get to content that you need to answer your discussion question. So this tempo will essentially continue throughout the entire term. So you start your modules on Mondays. On Thursdays, you will have your initial discussion post due. On Saturdays, you will have your reply post due. On Sundays, you'll have your Smart Book, ABA, and quiz due. There are 2 exceptions to this, and those are your 2 projects. Project number 1 is going to be due on Saturday, July 26th, and this is a bankruptcy project. You'll be given a scenario, and what you'll be asked to do is research the forms, and then based upon the hypothetical scenario and some addresses that you might make up and have some fun with, you will complete the bankruptcy form. The second project that you'll have due, which will be due on a Saturday, August 2nd, is a project in which you will create a limited liability corporation. It can be any corporation that you want. It may be a real one that you already have or one that you're really thinking about starting. But what you'll need to do is you'll need to research and find the right forms, complete an articles of organization, and then your operating agreement for your LLC. Then we will be finishing up the course on August 17th, which is a Sunday. You will not have a cumulative exam in this class. You will be taking your quizzes as you go, and that will assess your knowledge and understanding of all the content as we go. So some of you might be happy to note that you will not have a cumulative final here. Also, one different thing for Module 6 discussion is that does not require a reply. So Module 6 discussion, you only need to make your initial post. Let me show you the modules now and how they're broken down. You'll have an overview getting started. I would suggest that you read your content in here. And then there's a meet your class discussion. So that's under your to do. Be sure to just post in there and give opportunities so that we can all meet each other, find out a little bit about yourselves. And then as soon as possible, you want to jump into Module 1 because you're going to have an assignment due the first Thursday of the first week of class. And then you're going to have other assignments due that Sunday. So jump right in. For every assignment, you'll have an overview. This will discuss what the module will be about and what you'll need to do to successfully complete that module. Then we have expository content. Often what you'll see that I do is I record video lectures, and then I will take those lectures and there'll be transcripts or other PowerPoints that you can download if you want to jump back to those. But I would encourage you to watch and listen to the lectures and review those and all the materials that are in the expository content. It will help to reinforce what you're reading in your smart book and give you additional content that will be helpful as you complete your assignments and discussions in the class. You'll have a set of graded activities, and again, this will have your smart book assignment, your ABA, your discussion, and your quiz that'll be due for each module. And every single module is essentially set up the same way with an overview, expository content, graded activities. So make sure that you just follow along with the pace of the class. Again, it'll be pretty fast. But the best thing to do is to just budget your time at the beginning of the semester, work on the materials at a pace that allows you to submit those on time. Remember that no late assignments are going to be accepted unless you request permission and that permission is granted in advance of the deadline. So just a reminder, again, it's not a problem for you to reach out, email me. If you see any anomalies in the class, like something's not matching up, like a due date's a little wonky or a link's not working, please just email me and let me know. If it's an error that I've made that somehow impacts your ability to submit an assignment on the deadline, I'll make an extension for that. I won't hold any mistakes I made against you guys. So please let me know if you see anything that's weird or a link that's not working. And certainly, if you have any questions about the content of the class or the way that it's set up, please don't hesitate to send me an email in Canvas. I'll get back to you, and if I can't answer it in an email, we'll set up a time to talk. I'm looking forward to the term with you. I hope you enjoy the content, and I look forward to reading all of your introductions in the Meet Your Class post. Take care.